What is up, guys? Today we are going to talk about the shoulder joint. This is an extremely mobile joint, but it craves stability. So unlike a lot of our ball and socket joints in our body, like our hip, the shoulder does not have a deep insertion. So what that means is it is going to have greater range of motion than, say, your hip, but it is also going to require more connective tissues and muscular structure around it to be able to handle it without getting impingements and things of that nature. That is what we're going to go over today, and the tool we are going to use to help with that is the kettlebell, specifically the pink one, because I don't want to lift heavy in this video. So you may ask, why the kettlebell? Why not just dumbbells? Why not a barbell? Free weight's gonna create some instability that you're gonna have to correct. That is true, but kettlebell will do a few more things. You see, as our kettlebell gets into position, it sits behind our wrist, behind our forearm. So what that does, like with a dumbbell, you're always gonna have the lat stabilizing, you're gonna have your delt stabilizing, you're gonna have some stuff going on in your shoulder blades stabilizing, all the scapular stabilizers. But because that weight sits back, you now have this happening too. And when that gets introduced, your rotator cuff starts to get involved a lot more. So you're still getting all the stabilizers, but you're getting a little more anti-rotation happening, which is going to make your scapular stabilizers fire a little different. That's hard to say. And it is going to cue your rotator cuff a little more. Additionally, if you're single arming, things have to fire a little different throughout the rest of your torso as well. Next up, we are going to discuss what movements have the most bang for the buck for specifically building your shoulder stability, so this loosey-goosey joint doesn't become a little bitch that gets hurt and sore and banged up all the goddamn time from your bench pressing. Well, hey there, guys. Welcome to the Turkish Get-Up. Mileage is going to vary on this movement. I can hear y'all right now. It's an overcomplicated movement, blah, blah, blah. There's some people that live and die and swear by its benefits, but you cannot deny the fact that you are putting your shoulder through a lot of time under tension in non-stable environments. So it is super useful. So the Turkish Get-Up, if you've never done one before, crash course. Not a real tutorial, but we'll just pretend. If it's heavy, start in the fetal position. Roll up. The leg that has the kettlebell, that knee is bent. The leg that does not have the kettlebell, that knee is straight. Push both arms to secure the bell. Don't go single arm in that shit, because when it's heavy, it ain't gonna feel great. Now your shoulder is already working because that bell is behind, so it's already working to stabilize you. If the bell is heavy, you are going to want to sit up and over to your elbow. Sitting straight up is a way to do a Turkish Get-Up. Your limiter will be what you can crunch if you do that. So I'm gonna take my arm up and my foot up a little bit, and I'm gonna roll quickly to my elbow as I drive up with this arm. Boom, first position. Now I gotta get on this hand, which you can't see because I'm facing the wrong way. But this isn't really a kettlebell tutorial, so f you. Hip goes up, foot goes back, turn your body. You can either turn this back foot around or pivot this way. Either way is fine. If you have leg hair and you're wearing shorts, you are going to enjoy turning your body the other way instead. From here, we do a lunge. We stand up. Look at that. You just did a Turkish Get-Up. You can kind of see me. You can return back the way you came, or you can be like me, who's a little lazy and doesn't love Turkish Get-Ups. I will just put it down. Now, if you like the idea of a Turkish Get-Up, but you don't want to be crawling on the ground a bunch, the kettlebell windmill is one that I personally prefer, okay? So, get that kettlebell to your shoulder however you want to. Press that sucker overhead. So you're gonna want your feet, if you go wide, that's okay too. But I like mine about shoulder width apart, toes turned to the side slightly so my heels are pointing the direction of that kettlebell. Get it overhead, and because my heels are pointing over, I can push into my butt cheek on that side too. So we're still getting the extension, we're still getting everything at play like we talked about. And now we're working on the mobility and kind of letting the kettlebell go from this position to this position and back, which is going to take you through very similar motions as the Turkish get up without having to get on the floor. Push your hips back toward the butt cheek, reach down the inside of this front leg. If you bend your legs, I do not care, that is fine. And then come right back up. But realize we're not tipping our body over, we are pushing our hips this way to create that fold. Trying to get that shoulder in line with your leg, back up. That is the kettlebell windmill, and I think it is a much better movement than the Turkish get up. Fight me in the comments. You're wrong though, because it's my channel and I could block you. The kettlebell arm bar is one if you like getting on the floor again, which for this video, I do, but really, I don't. So, you are going to get onto the floor like a weirdo. Start just like the Turkish get up. Let's see, let's start over here. We got that pressed. Now instead of sitting up with it, we are just going to try to roll our hips to the ground and you get your chest as flat as you can. Your mobility is going to be a determining factor, and as you will see, mine is not amazing. So we turn over. My hips are now pretty flush with the ground, but my chest is not because I am not super mobile. If you are super mobile and can get your chest on the ground, more power to you. But this is one that we will hold for time, and then when you are done, if you are lazy, you can just let it drop that way to the floor. If you are not, or your gym or people get mad if you drop kettlebells, you can roll back the way you came and bring it down. But this is my gym and my equipment. So again, you. That's fine. Last up is the overhead carry, single arm or two arms, depends how fancy you want to get. Either way is fine. The main goal is we are arm up and we walk down, we walk back, we walk around. We just get some time under tension on this shoulder. Save the easiest one for last. And honestly, probably one of the best ones because it is so simple to implement. All you gotta do is be able to press a bell, then you hold that there. The one thing it does lack a little bit though, compared to the windmill or the Turkish get up, is moving your shoulder through ranges of motion while under tension, but do not be dissuaded by the complexity of those movements. Sometimes the most simple thing is the best thing. Because think about in lifting and in life, when your shoulder needs to be the most stable is kind of when it's just right here. So the other stuff is nice, it helps, but it definitely is not necessary if you're someone who doesn't want to take the time to learn those other movements. A few final thoughts on the topic of shoulder stability and kettlebells. Kettlebells are nice, again, because they have that backwards pull that cause you to have to stabilize differently than how you traditionally do in training. This matters. Kettlebell training helps so much because you are not just doing lateral raises and getting your delts stronger. You are pulling through different ranges of motions, especially when we're doing things like the windmills and the Turkish get-ups. As much as I was on the Turkish get-ups, it is a good and valuable movement for that reason. Do not neglect your overhead carries, as the little walking, that little shifting that happens kind of does a similar thing as well. Final thoughts. One of the biggest things you'll notice about all of these movements is they are time under tension. They're not like a lot of movement. You are moving through motions, but it is in slowed and controlled ways. With the overhead carries, we're just staying here. With the windmills, we're just staying here, but there's a little bit of movement. Same thing on the Turkish get-up. They are not big dynamic movements. They are hold your arm locked out in a position while you do a bunch of work movements. And that is the way to kind of build that durability and longevity in your shoulders, is more that isolation holding. You want to build power in your shoulders, you need to have a stable platform first, but that power building is where those big movements come in, like the presses, the jerks, benching, all that fun stuff. Oh, you may have noticed, my pink kettlebell has left us. How astute of you to observe. This bad boy is our mushroom bell. The mushroom bell is a kettlebell that is loadable to 260 pounds. Start with 2.5s, 5s, 10s, 25s, all the way to here. And then after you get by the lip, you can use bigger boys. There are some videos of me on Instagram swinging some heavy shit and cleaning some heavy shit with these. Y'all should try them out. If you are looking to not spend $2,000 for a full set of kettlebells all the way up to 203, we are on pre-order right now. The handle will change slightly, as this is my final prototype. They will be more straight with the 290 degrees, just like Mr. Competitive Kettlebell right here. So if that interests you, check the link in the bio. I will get a review out on it as well. And as always, subscribe, comment, and check out AttitudeIron.com. Later, fuckers.